My philosophy of education is about trying to make the implicit explicit. So I think we assume all sorts of things that people can do, and especially people who've successfully through the education system can do really easily. We make assumptions, I think, a lot of the time as teachers that they can just do those things, and we don't break down what we're asking them to do in a way which they can. So I think this is especially relevant with something like literacy, which is obviously very big on the agenda now. And we've got these students who can either they kind of know what to do, but they don't know why, and that's fine, and that's like a lot of adults. And then we've got these other students who don't know what to do, and they're stuffed. And if we can make the things that we can do implicitly explicit to them, then suddenly they can do it. My first port of call for any kind of discussion about what should be done in schools is about why. And I think I get really incensed by the amount of how we're given as teachers. This is how you do this. This is how you do assessment for learning. And teachers end up doing things with no idea about why they're doing it. And I think that really affects the outcome of what they're doing. So, for instance, with assessment for learning, which is something which has been really pushed from above, you've got lots of people waving around lolly sticks and mini whiteboards, and it doesn't affect what the children's learning is. It doesn't affect their planning next lesson, and it's useless because they're just doing the how and not the why. So my big thing is to ask why we should do whatever it was we're doing, and then ask the students that same question. Why, this is why you're doing it, or even better, get them to supply reasons for what you're asking them to do, and then discuss with them which of those are the most interesting. I don't believe in tick lists. I don't believe that there is a strategy or as a thing that you can do. I'm very much about finding your own lists, but having a lovely story. A friend of mine, actor, met Sir John Gielgud, working with him in a theatre, and Sir John took him onto the stage and said, "Do you see these lights and these lights? Those are my lights. You must find your own lights." And I think that's really important. I think people must find their own lights. And I think that's what one of the things I'm trying to do is supply those lights, whatever, we're all teachers, we're all doing the same things, and we're under pressure to do things often similarly, but I don't think that works particularly. I think that's a great way to be a good teacher, but it's not a very good way to be better than that. One of the things which I'm really interested in doing is it's really focusing on the fact that learning shouldn't be about pseudo problems, shouldn't be about things which typified by those kinds of maths questions about sort of Ahmed filling up a bath and how long it's going to take him and that sort of thing, and sort of these pretend problems, which is what a lot of school is about, what a lot of teaching is about, pretending we've got a problem, making something up and asking students to be bothered about that. And the extent to which they do is remarkable, the extent to which they are bothered. But if we give them something which is real, if we give them an actual problem to solve and say, look, this is something happening in the world, this is something that is an issue, here's what we're going to do about it. Here are some experts that we're going to work with. You're going to have the opportunity of working like an adult, doing what adults do in the real world, and your work will have some kind of meaning because it'll attempt to solve a particular problem. Then I think that's much more preferable.